I was asked to prepare this speech by Odalia and Vanessa last night, and there are not enough minutes in a day this week for me, so I was pretty much wrote this speech from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. this morning. Several nights ago, I was sitting at a table full of seating cards, planning the best day of my life. In an instant, this shortly turned out to be the worst. Who better to have by your side during table seating than the most popular and social girl in the community, cousin Odelia. Calling Odelia at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday night, asking her if she would come to my house to help was nothing out of the ordinary. The first thing she replied over the phone was, "Okay, be there in 5 minutes." Behold, she was at my door with her 3-month-old infant, Jared. At 1 in the morning, Odelia received an alarming phone call from my cousin Omi, instantly changing our laughter and smiles to panic and fear. Knowing my cousin Omi as being one of the most calm and collected individuals, I know a late-night phone call to come to the hospital was definitely not a good sign. Odelia and I rushed to the hospital to see the rest of my 5 cousins in the hallway of the emergency room, in different corners, gasping in gasping positions, shaking and crying. Seeing my 2 younger cousins, Adam and Ryan, shocked and terrified, the only thing I envisioned was a flashback of 9 years ago when I was standing in the same hallway, in the same position, when the doctors told me that my father had only hours to live. Being a 20-year-old kid with no knowledge of life, my world came crashing down. As minutes became hours, and hours became days. My father, still unconscious, had given up all hope until one man gave me the motivation to stay strong. That man, Amo Changiz. Growing up, all I would see when I heard the name Amo Changiz was a fierce lion. He was intelligent, powerful, and fearless. That night, Amo Changiz pulled me aside into a private room and said to me, "Khub be man gush kon. To hichi narad nabash. Man hamishe pashidam." That Saturday morning, he took me to Kanisa and bought me the first Torah carried around the room. As we put the Torah back that day and closed the doors of the Aron, he held me by his side with his tzitzit over both of us and dug his face into the doors. He let out a loud cry while saying, "Choraya komak." It is nothing short of a miracle that my father is still here today. Hashem may have saved my father from death, but in having my father work at his office and giving him a purpose to wake up every morning, Amo Changiz gave my father life. Amo Changiz was the undisputed king of our family. He was a business savvy, humble, and had a charming and loving personality. Anytime he would come to our house for a Shabbat or a holiday, when the clock would hit 11, that was his cue to leave. Shalom always wanted to stay longer and listen to my mom's stories. And he would always say, "Shalom, اگه تا صبحم اینجا بشینی این مالیدا حرفاش تمومی نداره." In the past 7 days, the stories we are hearing of his charities, both financially and emotionally, are countless. Amo Changi's had everything and anything a man could ever ask for in life, except for the Rajabzada gene for thick and long-lasting hair. He left behind a loving wife and 6 adoring children who stood by him at his weakest moments. 2 beautiful brides, 2 amazing grooms, and 13 grandchildren that will carry his legacy forever. In the final years of my single life, anytime Amo would see me, the first thing he would say to me is, "Akhe ta chand, ta ke gofta bazi." He always wished for me to get married as soon as possible. Unfortunately, Amo Changi's life at the end, the week my life is going to begin. Ahmed Salihan always says, the only thing that remains when you leave this world is a good name. In our 5,000 person community, there was only one person named Changiz, and I have the pride and privilege to call him Amo. His name will never be forgotten. Amo, this Sunday, when I walk towards that football, when I walk towards that chuppah to begin a new chapter in my life, I will not be afraid, because I know that Shama Krishna has. I promise I will never forget. I promise I'll never forget what you did for me. I will always love you.